Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you back to the Witch Doctor playthrough in Diablo 3. We are about to go into the overgrown ruins to find the tomb of Rakkis. But before we do that, I'd like to announce that, of course, this is the first Witch Doctor video on brand new patch 2.2, which is great, which brings Season 3, I believe, out. Wonderful new season with a bunch of really cool gear, some of it for the Witch Doctor. There have been a few changes to our skills, though, and I'm going to go over those real quick. I'm just kind of tabbing out here so I can take a look at them and tell you about them. Alright, first and foremost, Fetish Army. Fetish Ambush. Alright, let's go take a look at that. I don't have it here. Fetish Ambush. Alright, it deals 680% weapon damage as cold to any nearby enemies when it's summoned. So it's basically been increased by a massive amount. It went from 250 to the 680, so a big change there. And it's a cold rune as well, which is great. I mean, we've been doing a cold build here so far. In fact, I'm probably going to make a few changes to this build overall that might incorporate that. I might actually put that instead of Locus. Put that out as a cold damage because it does quite a bit, and we are doing a cold build. If we look at our cold damage here, we're sitting at 31%. That's a tempting alternative choice now, actually. Beyond that, we have Haunt with Consuming Spirit. Let me pull that up. Wrong one, apparently. Oh, I can't find anything worth a damn. All right, Consuming Spirit. Spirit returns 2,867 life per second. Haunt damage turns to fire. So in this case, the life was increased basically, well, not really doubled. It was 2,600, now it's 4,200. It was changed from cold to fire. So we're just talking about having a cold build. This is one of the only haunts to actually do fire. So there's more fire options for those of you who choose to be that. The Poisoned Spirit had a bug fix in which the rune was prevented from increasing the damage of itself. So when you look at this one, it increases the damage by 20%. It was also supposed to increase the damage of itself. So it does that 4,000 damage as cold, or in this case 4,000 weapon damage as poison. It was also supposed to increase it. So it was more than just increasing the damage of everything else. It should have increased the damage of itself. So now it does do that. The cooldown of Spirit Walk was decreased. So it is now 12 seconds from 15, but the caveat to that is the cooldown does not tick down until you've exited the Spirit Walk, until the ability has completed. This prevents abuse of certain abilities that would allow you to Spirit Walk longer than normal, and the cooldown would come up before it was done. So you'll see it doesn't go into cooldown until after I come out. So the cooldown is technically the same without modifiers. And it's supposed to prevent the, like kind of as I said there, kind of prevent an infinite loop of Spirit Walks. Soul Harvest had a boost. The intelligence gain on Soul Harvest, let me bring that up. I'm kind of going back and forth, so I apologize if things don't stay up too long. I want to try and move semi-quickly. Let's just do this. And go to Soul Harvest, this guy here. So it's 3% intelligence now for each affected enemy instead of 2%. So a 1% gain, which goes up to a 5% gain when you get enough people in it. Or if you have more stacks, that goes up to 10%. The Languish rune was redesigned. I don't quite recall off the top of my head what it did previously, but as we can see now, it does increase your armor by 30%, and the movement speed of harvested enemies is reduced by 80% for 5 seconds. So you get a boost of armor, and you have an easier chance of getting away because the enemy is very slow. So it becomes a nice defensive option. Summon zombie dogs. Now, this is something I will be changing. In fact, I'm going to go off of the Gargantuan here because of this. Let me change this out. The reason why I have Gargantuan from the last video, as you can tell, is because, well, he's got a cold option, which the zombie dogs did not have. So if we go into the zombie dogs, we now have a cold option called Chilled to the Bone. This replaces Final Gift. So Final Gift was the version of the zombie dogs. I forget what element it was. I think it was physical. Where the zombie dogs had a chance, like a 15% chance of leaving you a health globe when they died. Wasn't a great version of the dogs at all. This one is very nice, and the fact that it's a cold damage, again, they've opened up options to elements. So we've got more fire options, the poison's been fixed, and now here we have cold. And this is the second new cold option we're seeing. Enemies who are hit by your zombie dogs are chilled for 3 seconds, and they take 15% increased damage. So interestingly enough, witch doctors who didn't have a lot of damage amplification in the past got some in the form of the piranhas. Then we got some in the form of the haunt, which does it with poison. And now we have the zombie dog. So there are multiple ways to increase damage, and you can stack these, although they're probably not the best to stack because one's poison, one's ice. Although piranhas can have a few different elements, but you know, you could probably stack piranhas with a couple of the other options. I'm going to go with this chill to the bone. We're going to take it off of our gargantuan because now I'll have several dogs who will increase the damage of the enemy, and it does chill, so it will slow them down as well. So this is going to be a much better option because it's going to work off of my my elemental damage increase. Alright, last but not least, the Fetish Sycophants. This one's kind of nice. I'm going to actually get these as well. We're not going to have the Creeping Death anymore. Let's, oh, where have my Sycophants gone? There you are. Alright, so the chance has been increased. You can see it's 15% at 60 seconds. So it used to be that they were 10%, right? It used to be at a 10% chance to summon these things. So you have a 5% increased chance of getting a Sycophant now. The duration hasn't changed. So you're going to see more Sycophants come out, which is really nice. Here's the other bonus. They now do damage based on your highest elemental damage type, which is why I'm going to pick them, because they will do damage based off of my cold. So they're going to... I don't know if they'll do cold damage, but they will do a percentage increase based off of my cold damage. Now, this has caused a very interesting effect for witch doctors. It has basically made witch doctors pets, the best kind of pet builds, or at least the pet builds I see the most common, using Sycophants and not using dogs or gargantuans. It has been most common with the new headpiece, the Carnival, which I'm hoping to get at some point to maybe show that off. But man, that build is insane because it does a ton of damage. It's ranged. You don't have to get too close. It's just nuts. It's unfortunate though because there are some really nice items this season, and I think I left them in here. No, I think they're on the other witch doctor, unfortunately, so you can't see them from here. But you have the Ring of the Tall Man, Ring of the Small Man. Names are not, I may have the names wrong, but you had the ring that basically split the gargantuan into 3 smaller gargantuans, and you had the ring that turned the dog into 1 bigger dog. And those are still great options, but they seem to be overshadowed by the fact the Sycophants summon so much faster and do additional damage now. So that's a thing, unfortunately. But for the time being, we will be using the cold dogs. And do I really need the locusts? Let's do more with cold. Let's do another cooldown since we are sitting here on a nice cold build, and that's a 680 now. It's pretty nice. So we'll put that on there. Excellent. So I think I want to... Oh, I need to change these around because unfortunately the keybinds between computers are maintained. So I played a bit on my laptop, and of course what happens is everything gets saved. There we go. That's so much better, isn't it? There. All right, we've done talked enough, I think. Let's go out there.
You're not going anywhere without me.
Yeah.
Zayl and his reapers are dead. Westmarch is safe, and its people can finally begin to rebuild. Lorath and I now go to find Adria in the Blood Marsh. She knows the way to find Malthael, and after she tells me, I will end her life.
Leah would understand. We need answers more than we need revenge.
Something tells me we don't like Adria much. Can you blame us? I can't.
We hid the Black Soul Stone in the deepest part of the Nephalem ruins near here. We thought it would be safe, but Malthael found it all the same.
Alright, so we're going to venture out. We will see our dogs doing some nice damage because of the cold damage, the cold boost, and of course, once they've hit an enemy, they are inflicted for taking more damage. So much like the Haunt bug fix, where the Haunt would increases its own damage, the dogs increase, naturally, their own damage as well. Kind of see things are dying pretty quickly. Wow.
This is the entrance to the tomb, but someone's collapsed it.
Adria.
It looks like we'll have to find another way into the ruins. What was that?
Oh, that damage, though.
I do not have enough mana. I need mana.
This was just one entrance to the city. There are guide stones littered across the blood marsh that will lead us to the main one. The guide stones are useless to most, but will reveal the correct path to a Nephalem such as yourself.
Convenient being a Nephalem, then. So search for the guide stones in the blood marsh. I feel like I'm missing something. Let's take a quick look, a quick gander.
Let me check the treasure.
Of course, Lyndon. Why would I not trust you to check the treasure? Except for that one time when a few pieces of coin went missing. I'm not saying it was you, that you are to blame or anything like that. No, it just must have been a happy coincidence. Yes, I believe that's the term. Oh, we're getting ever closer, by the way. We are 67. Almost 68. 2 more to go. 3 more, well, 3 more. 2 and like 20%.
Run if you wish, Adria. It will do no good.
Remember to get the information you need before you...
Of course.
That's very reassuring.
Oh, Rafiki getting curt with it, man. He's... I know. I will not send her to the unformed land until I have gained the information I seek. But very quickly after, the unformed land will welcome her soul.
The first time I saw a witch, she burned. Father took me to the town square to see it. Look, he said, that is the face of evil. But she looked like any other woman, and burned like anything else. Then the flames engulfed her. Her eyes found mine, and she laughed.
I have been healed.
I can't believe Adria's here of all places.
Where did you think she was?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe roasting in hell for what she did to Leah.
My curse upon you.
Yes, you don't want to hurt the ladies when Lyndon's around. He has an investment in all of them, you know. Oh, these little guys just coming out of these little hovels in the area. Look at that.
I strike at your heart.
Pouring out in droves. So I think we can see the damage is really good now. A cold build is actually very viable on Witch Doctors. It may not be the best end-game build, but it is definitely a nice interim build to have. There's plenty of cold damages that you can do now, plenty of skills that you have options for. You can make a full-blown build, as you can see, and the fact that you get increased damage off of dogs that are cold while you're working towards other types of gear. A cold build is a pretty nice starter set. I mean, you really don't need anything special to make a cold build work. You don't need any special legendaries. I mean, I don't have any special legendaries. What do I have? I've got some boots that don't do anything. And I've got a chance on attack to throw a dagger. Oh, what do I have there? I have this. That's health globes. But I have cold damage. That's about the only thing you really need. I mean, and that's nothing special. You can get cold damage on any blue, yellow, whatever.
My father could never understand. He was born into privilege and wealth, and he spent every moment of his life trying to protect it. I was his flesh and blood, but he cared more about the names in books and the faces of the paintings on the walls than his living daughter.
Am I supposed to start feeling bad for Adria now? I mean, and what is with Adria dropping these journals all over the place?
Isn't that supposed to be Deckard Cain's stick? He goes out, he walks around and drops books like they're landmines or something, thinking, oh, one day an adventurer will be here. I mean, certainly, I'm lucky to have survived being where I am, and it's surrounded by monsters and traps. But that won't stop some would-be adventurer.
Nothing happens when I approach it.
Let me try.
Of course, because I have special Nephalem powers.
There are 4 entrances to the Nephalem city, each one etched with a sigil. Only the correct one marks the true entrance to the tomb, however. When you activate these stones, one of the wrong sigils disappears.
How convoluted can you get? Alright, but that's, you know, this reminds me a lot of Talrosh's tomb from Diablo 2, where there were 7 tombs, I do believe. You had to go through, oh, I can't remember the name of the area now. Wow. I've been there so many times, but it's been a while since I played. But you're supposed to go there to find out, to see all of the symbols, and the one symbol that's missing is the one you're supposed to go to. It's kind of the, almost the same thing here, really. You're supposed to find the ones that you don't need. So we've eliminated the wave.
Do you know what fear is? The fear of who you are. Fear of what your own blood would do if they knew what you were. No, you could never understand it. People look to you as a savior. Have you ever thought about the lives you've taken? They were fathers, lovers, daughters.
Whom are you speaking to? I have not taken my father's life. That she knows. She can't prove anything. Oh, here we have a new side area, so we have the Putrid Hovel. Exploding poison bugs. That's always fun. Oh, hi. Oh, Luca, the Blight Beast. You know, I'm kind of glad I ran into him. For those that don't know, this is a Suikoden 2 reference. I, unfortunately, never played much of the Suiko series. I got through, like, a certain distance of one. I probably got maybe around halfway or more. Unfortunately, I never beat it. I had a friend that was very into Suikoden 2, so I learned a lot of Suikoden 2 from him and kind of watching him play a bit.
Need more time.
But there's a character in Suikoden 2 named Luca Blight, so of course, Luca, the Blight Beast. Makes perfect sense. Further on to the passage around. There's a large area. I'm going to admit, this is probably one of my least favorite areas. And really, one of the big reasons for that is all of this These giant pools of poison. When you get into higher difficulties, these things start doing a ton of damage. I hate seeing this area in rifts. Because it's so easy to just walk into them, and it's even easier when, say, I'm on a laptop with lower graphical fidelity. And I don't always see them right away. They just start ticking away. Definitely one of my least favorite areas, just because of that. Alright, what are we eliminating?
I need to find another guide stone to learn the correct sigil.
Alright, took away fire. So combining the Piranha Wave with the dogs and trying to do that and then pop the Fetish Army on enemies if I run into anything tough. Ah, hey, it's one of the Bogan Towers. Gotta say, a lot of the enemy interactions in this act are really neat. Like those guys that shake off a bunch of smaller enemies.
Just remembered why no one ever comes out here.
Why?
It's terrible.
See, even he says it's terrible. I'm not making this up. Oh gods.
Need more mana.
Oh man, so many traps on my... Oh my goodness. Come on, come on. Get that out there.
Healed.
Whew.
This sigil marks the correct passage.
Alright, so we've found the correct passage. Now what I like to do, much like I like to do with D3RoS's tomb, is, of course, explore all the wrong tombs. Or in this case, explore the wrong areas. Most of them have similar tile sets, so there's not too much to see. But they're good places of exploration, of items, experience. I'm glad they increased the proc rate of the sycophants because I'm kind of noticing I'm not getting too many out. What have I been averaging? 3 or 4? Of course, I've been semi-conservative with my shots. I should look. I should see if the dogs actually proc that. Staying at 2. It's about 20 seconds so far. I'm just kind of waiting out the 30 seconds. Alright, so I lost 1, lost 2. New ones are not coming, so yeah, looks like the dogs do not proc it.
I strike at your heart.
Kind of wanted to be sure on that, you know, I've never actually looked into that. And I think that could be another reason why maybe the dogs aren't used as much. Really what I've seen is as far as a lot of in-game builds is it's basically building around the sycophants, and then everything else you build increases their damage. So things like piranhas, like poison haunt, or you know, you don't really see a lot of cold dogs in that, but that's a possibility if you're still going cold. I think the big thing there, and something I have noticed, is if you're not building the Carnival build, or Carnival build, however you want to say it, because it's really, I don't know. Then you might run into issues where your pets can't hit monsters. Like, I have noticed this, because I did build a pure pet build that had a ton of dogs, had a ton of sycophants, had the gargantuan split into 3, and you run into issues where they can't surround the enemy anymore. So you get a bunch of your sycophants surrounding the enemy, and then what ends up happening is a lot of them start standing around doing nothing. Which is why the Carnival build works so well, because they attack when you have that item, and they all attack at ranged. So all of these issues with your pets not attacking don't exist with that build. But even so, I mean, now you could combine that with at least one pet, or, you know, like the gargantuan or the dogs. You could possibly throw those in there because they won't be affected by them. But you still don't see it a lot, because a lot of the damage is really about boosting up the sycophants. And then usually another way of doing that is Big Bad Voodoo, just throwing that in there and making them do more damage. Alright, so we're going to hit the Winding Cave, but we've also hit level 68, which gives us a new passive. And so since I'm using the Cold Dogs, this will actually work for me. Rush of Essence is nice. Can I go back to a regular primary? I mean, I do have Numbing Dart. And I do have Medusa Spiders. Obviously nothing cold there. So I could get away from Spirit Barrage. And get rid of Rush of Essence. I haven't really needed Spirit Vessel, though. But since we're getting close to a fight, yeah, I'm going to get rid of Rush of Essence, and what we'll do is we'll get this new one. This is Midnight Feast. 1 additional zombie dog. You have 1 additional zombie dog summoned at one time. Damage of your zombie dogs and gargantuan is increased 50%. So if you are going for gargantuans and dog builds, this is the big one to have. This is the only one that actually increases damage at the same time. So we're going to grab that. It's going to allow me to have an additional dog. We're going to take this off, and we're going to put on... I don't know. I don't really care for the spiders most of the time. Slows the enemy by 60%. Slows the enemy by 60%. They both do that. 576 total. $185 plus 40. It's like the spiders do more? I just like the idea of the darts better. Let's throw on the spiders. Seems like it would do better. That and the spiders are a indirect fire spell, so I can always hit around the same area that I want to, roughly. And honestly, having more spiders, I wonder if that would increase the proc chance I have of getting some sycophants, because they attack more. So many spiders. Now, of course, one issue that I may have here is that taking Creeping Death off does mean that I'm also not getting the increased duration of the Piranhas, but so far, again, I haven't really needed it. And we can see that everything is going really well as far as damage is concerned. Oh, wow, yeah, I think the my proc chances have gone up a bit, because I've got 7 of these things now. Very nice.
I strike at your heart.
Remember me.
Ooh, Pass of the Drowned. Wait. Oh. Right, that's where I was. So, okay, neat. So this is one of the few times you ever see this. In fact, did they even do this before the expansion came out, where they have multiple entrances? I think they did. So here we have a cave that's got 2 exits out back into the main area. So it can be used as something of a... well, I don't know if I'd call it a shortcut. It's more of a long cut, really, because I believe this area is larger than the distance traveled between the two normally.
Your day comes.
Ooh. This is kind of neat. I kind of like the look of this area. Is this water falling down in the cave? It's... I don't want to say it's not beautiful, but it's I guess it's a beautiful aesthetic in its creepiness. You know, I can appreciate the atmosphere of this area from an art design standpoint. Sub area is large. What's this?
A perfect strike.
Defeat Gruul's Bogan followers. Oh, okay, he's way up there. Look at that. Reminds me of Chiltara a little bit. Okay. Gruul. Come on down! Don't be Gruul now. Don't be Gruul.
I cannot carry more.
Oh yeah, we are sitting on a huge pile of items here. So I will go clean this up and be right back.
I am returning to town.
Alright, looks like we got a new crossbow for Lyndon actually. Let's see what he's at. 43-2, 47. Yeah, because neither one has dex on it. They just had vitality. I did get a new dagger though. A little bit more damage. Just in case anyone wants to take a look at that. Rolled pretty nicely into damage and life. Yeehaw. Ugh, those lashers.
You die.
I'm glad everything is dying quickly, because those things are annoying. Anything that's squishy, that needs to get away quickly, I'd have to say doesn't like those lashers. They're quick. Those tongues of theirs have humongous range. There are a lot of chests in here.
Your evil undoes you.
Yeah, this is definitely working out nicely. The additional hits on the spiders, getting more of the sycophants, who are also getting boosted by my cold damage.
The spirits aid me.
I kind of want to bring the difficulty up a little bit to get the magic find up and all that, but not being at maximum level yet means that I could end up in this situation where once I hit 70, that if I bring it up too high, I'm going to end up getting murdered the moment the difficulty changes or the level spikes. I'd rather avoid that if possible.
A perfect strike.
Yeah, this is a pretty large area. I don't believe it has a second floor, but I want to be sure. Since nothing is changing at this point, I will come back with the exploration of the map. And here it is. Nope, there were no second areas and no special monsters or even special loot at this point. So, moving on, doing okay. Actually, you know what I just realized? Looking at my inventory, I still have these things in it. I need to take these out. So, for those of you who haven't seen these, you probably have at some point. These are my wings, and you'll notice the descriptions have been taken off of them. Also, I have my little pet here. In this patch, they added a little cosmetic window now, which is kind of nice. So I can actually have all of my wings here, and I can turn them on, so I can actually equip myself.
Must be where all the plagues in Westmarch come from.
What plagues?
Too late.
Ugh. Oh, that's terrible, Lyndon. But you can also equip your pets, like here, I'm going to equip him. Now, there was a bug when this first came out. My little pet there, my little skeletal doggy, which I love, he's great, he's cute, would go away every time I died, which is kind of annoying. You also can change your portrait. So if you've got Paragon levels, you can see you can upgrade to different ones. And there's this one, which you get with this season. Very special portrait that you get for getting a certain amount of achievement points. Also, this pennant is something else you can get for this season. Something you just put on your back. It's kind of neat. I'm just going to equip my dog and my Kerrigan wings as I usually do. But yeah, they should not go away now, and they'll even show up in the character select screen. And I can actually get rid of them now. I don't have to have them in my inventory anymore. So actually, I can free up a bunch of space now. Isn't that great? I'm sure you're all happy for me. I'm absolutely sure you're happy for me. I mean, why wouldn't you? This is not the first time. Seems to be a theme. I've told you in the past to be happy for me, and you will be happy for me. Yes.
I need mana.
I mean, the witch doctor god and ultimate source of information that I am, yes, right? Right, of course you all believe that. Uh-oh. New event, what is this? Lord of the Hill. We must reach the top of the hill. I'm sure this is not new, but I can't say I've done this any times in recent memory. It's new to me.
I fight dirty.
Yes, we'll fight dirty up the hill.
We will be the kings of the hill. We will reach the top of the mountain, and we shall be victorious. Excellent.
I do not have enough mana.
Welcome to your death, you little miscreants. Foul beasts. Know your place, and I am your maker and your god.
My strike needs more mana.
For in death I have become far more powerful than you can possibly imagine.
That's what it was. Deckard had to die in order to transcend to a higher plane of existence that he always deserved to be. Ooh. Urgek the Bogger. Alright, let's go ahead and put the damage amplification. Oh, nope, that's not ready yet, darn it.
The truth burns you.
I'm not in any real danger, though. I mean, even the little sycophants, you can see how they're just tanking everything for me. I've got 10 of them out. This is why the pet builds are so viable, really. I mean, even if I'm not doing a ton of damage in a single hit, I have so many little things tanking for me. Cool. Bunch of experience. Not much to speak of in the way of loot, but hey, I mean, I'll take it. It was a good amount of experience. It was a cool little event. I like little events like that. Just storm the castle, as it were. We can see where the correct area we need to go is. There's the flame one. You can actually see where all the other ones are on the map. Alright, well, much like the other area, there's not much changing here. If I find another sub-area, we'll go over it. If I find another event, we will, of course, go over that as well. For now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to each of the side paths and explore those. I'm not going to go directly to the correct tomb or ruin. It's alright, still D3RoS's tomb to me. It's what I'm used to, you know. It's a thing. It's one of the places I probably spent a ton of time in Diablo 2. Oh boy, new event, cursed chest. Oh my goodness, and all these traps.
Needs more time.
No time limit on this one. It's not waves. It's just, hey, you triggered their trap card, and it's time to duel, I guess. And you take them out, and you win, and send their souls to the Shadow Realm. I mean, the Unformed Realm, and yeah, you get a chest. Isn't that nifty? And there you go. Kill the last one. Get the chest. Let's just trigger these things. Come on. Oh, right. Unformed doesn't trigger them.
I had half a mind to explore the ancient ruins outside Westmarch, and then I realized they were crawling with dreadful scarabs. Of course, these creatures do not frighten me, but they make my research much too time-consuming, and I am widely known for my efficiency. Am I not? Searching for the maggot brood has been quite an adventure. I first observed the corpse of one near the road to Westmarch, where it raised such a stench that my new assistant vomited twice on my favorite traveling cloak. The stains came out eventually, but I was sorely vexed.
The flesh shaman was created from the blood of the witch Adria. Because of that, the shaman is able to use magic as she does. Channel
do
the
not
power
have
of blood
enough
and mana. Luckily, Adria only has so much blood to shed, and not for much longer.
Fellow Nephalem, aid us in ridding our city of these cursed beasts.
Oh, so I've run into an event, the Reliquary of the Nephalem, in one of these false tombs or passageways. I figure I'll be going over the false tomb in or the this tile set entirety once I go to the right one. So I'm kind of glossing over the ones that are not of interest. This one only had a resplendent chest at the end. Well, I say only, but that's what you had to. The reason why you would explore these would simply be, yeah, hey, you know, there's a resplendent chest. There's a possibility of items. Looks a lot like more than 5, Lyndon. You sure about that? Or was it only 5?
Our kind will stay together. Take this for your troubles.
Well, thank you. So there was 2 resplendent chests in this one. Fantastic.
Adria birthed these golems from the blood marsh. Their bodies were formed from the water and earth of the marsh itself, while the venom of the marsh creatures gave them life. Their very skin seems to burst with the poison of this land.
Now, interestingly enough, there's actually more of these guide stones than you need. I've already found enough guide stones to know that I need to go to the right one, to go to the fire one. And you can see there it is, mapped as the proper passage, the leaf. But there's extras should you need them. And it even shows you there, once again, the leaf. I mean, there's no real reason for the extras other than this zone is pretty large. And, well, this is where 3 of the passages are, so I guess I make sure that the randomization puts them out there so that you're not out there searching for these 3 lonely
This is not the right passage.
passageways without some kind of direction. So there's actually extras to help you along your way.
Ugh, this passage smells horrible. I betting these are the remnants of the grand hall of garbage.
I have uncovered and obscured an ancient tome in whose pages is recorded an impossible tale. The secret history of a race called the Nephalem, gods by another name, and their ruined civilization in the west. If this is true, how could all signs of these Nephalem be lost, but for the record of this single tome? The Nephalem were not gods, but our own ancestors, gifted with long life, magic, and abilities far beyond ours. Yet they were still men. I wonder if these pages hold the key to unlock their powers once again. I will bring the light of Zakarum to the heathens. Here in the east, the power of Zakarum wanes, but in the west it will rise, stronger and greater than ever. Yet I have another purpose. The lost Nephalem city of Corvus lies in the west. I will find it.
The all-powerful ancestors of humanity would be able to build pathways that don't dead end.
You die!
I just thought I'd take a moment to kind of show why I'm only kind of glossing over these false passages to Corvus, is because they can be quite large and involved, and you can kind of see that I've almost gained another level just by exploring them. And we're not even done here yet. I mean, this is how large this area is. So even though I'm still committed to the full exploration of the series as I typically do, you can kind of see that I'm, when it comes to repetitive combat, I try and make sure when there's a new build that I at least show enough of the build to show how it works and how I play it, and just to kind of show the viability of it, or show how I perform with it, because that's the other thing. Not every build is great, nor do I always perform well even with good builds. But that's me. But that's how this series has always been, and how I wish to continue it for now. And pretty soon here, in just a couple moments, we shall be overburdened in our inventory, certainly, but we are going to level up. There it is.
I need to go back.
So this will actually fit into our frozen build, our cold build. So, frozen piranhas. Let's get back to town. Let's talk about it. It's actually going to be kind of nice. Piranhas is really not a big source of damage, but it is nice to have everything that you have kind of match your theme. In this case, it's piranhas, frozen piranhas. The damage is changed to 400% weapon damage as cold over 8 seconds, and it chills enemies for the entire duration. So the big thing here is that you're going to be doing additional chill damage, so you're going to be making them take more damage, and they're going to be moving slower. The normal piranhas is 400% as poison. So really, it's not changing any. It's the same damage. It's going to be increased by my cold damage now, though, so I will get a little additional cold damage output there. It will not be in the wave anymore, which I kind of liked the wave, honestly. It allowed me to hit a whole bunch of monsters in a row. But there is the cold pool of frozen piranhas. So you get bit in the ass and you get a little bit of freezer burn at the same time.
We founded a settlement near the Western Sea. It will grow to be a great city in time. Now that my people are settled, I can begin my own search for the ruins of the Nephalem city, Corvus. The tome implied that it was near this very region. We have begun searching the marsh for the ruins of Corvus. This stinking, festering swamp is punctuated by worn blocks of stone. Perhaps these ancient sentinels are all that remain of the proud Nephalem city. No, there is more to be found. I know it.
Oh, looks like I found, I imagine, an event. Gentleman just kind of standing out here. Zayl. Okay. Hi, Zayl. Who are you?
Zayl, I am glad you are well.
Who is this?
I am Zayl, a necromancer. who seeks to maintain the balance.
Plus, he's a Haradrim.
That's my friend Humbard. He's a skull. Please ignore him.
Zayl helped Tyrael steal the Black Soul Stone from heaven.
I did, but I was not in the tomb when Malthael struck.
If he was, Zayl would have shown that angel what it means to cross a necromancer.
That's enough, Humbard.
I don't think I've ever run across this gentleman. I need to look up if he's the Necromancer from Diablo 2. I don't know, but I didn't know there was a Necromancer in the new Haradrim. Well, I like the fact that he has a talking skull.
What are you doing out in the bog?
This place is falling to deep imbalance. Something is very wrong here, and I wish to heal the land.
The sickness here is Adria, and I mean to kill her.
Well, that's taken care of. Let's go get a drink.
Even after she is slain, equilibrium will not immediately be restored. It will take time.
Always so serious.
I like this guy. I like his skull, too. And that's it. That's just the two things. That's kind of cool. He's just out here. He's someone to talk to. I've never seen him before, and that's... Well, either I've never seen him before, or I've never outright just talked to him, so that's pretty cool. I like it. Oh, I found a new side area. Oh, lovely. Look at this. Nestled between the other two winding caves. Alright, so I guess we go in. In my wretched hole. Uh-oh. Oh, hi.
You are evil undoes you.
So it looks like it's just a small, quick arena thing. Which is cool. And look at the corpse on this guy. You ugly. Cool. Quick and easy. Fantastic. I think that really does it for this area. And you can kind of see there it is. Pretty large. And there's only one left to go into, and that's the Leaf. So we'll be heading to the Hidden Leaf Village. I mean, to the Leaf Passage. No, I didn't say that. Didn't say it. Welcome to the passage to Corvus. Finding ourselves in a checkpoint. This is a pretty interesting area, filled with some unique traps. Vek Maru, Bloodseeker. Oh, Vek. You may seek blood. We've got good news. We're gonna find it. We've got bad news.
It shall be your own. Yes, suffer and die, like the rest of your kin.
So neat, a whole bunch of neat things inside of these passageways. You've got these ancient armaments that kind of spring up from the ground. Impractical, and I have no idea why they would still be active after all this time, but they're cool. It's still pretty cool. You walk up on them and they kind of spring up. I mean, you can see them like, let's see if there's one on the ground that I can actually immediately point off. Ah, right there. So one over here, you can kind of see it, and I just walk up to it, and whoop! That's just pretty cool. Also inside this area are a bunch of traps on the floor that we'll see. And then these things over here, these spirit totems. These spirit totems are kind of neat. I don't know... I'm sure a lot of people know by now, because, you know, nothing stays unknown for long, but I know that I didn't realize how these kind of worked before in the past. I thought they were just a destructible object that, you know, it's a spirit totem, so, oh look, a spirit pops out.
Rakkis chose this place for his tomb? He must have been mad.
Well, wouldn't be the only mad person that made a tomb, right?
Looking at you, Leoric.
But these things are actually traps. You hit them, and they go out and they seek the nearest enemy to attack. And they will attack destructible, so if I attack one, it can attack the other spirit totem, and you can see there it goes. It does damage. They're really nice, and they can easily get destroyed with a whole bunch of Reckless Splash, though. It's kind of the downside, so... And it looks like they do have a range. Like, the ones that got sprung over here did not come this way. But they can be a nice source of a little extra damage. Even when you get this area and, say, Nephalem Rift. I am starting to notice that creatures are now taking longer to kill again. It seems like every time I level, they take just a little bit longer. So they were dying really quickly about a level or two ago. And now they're just... It's starting to bog down just a little bit. And I'm getting close to 70, which kind of concerns me a little, because once I hit 70, usually 70 is a huge jump. Getting that last level is usually a big jump, because that's when the difficulties normalize. Uh-oh, we got Wallers. Easy enough, right?
Not ready yet. You die.
Shall we learn more about Rakkis? His search?
Last night, I found the ruined Nephalem city. When I stepped into the buried catacombs, I felt a stirring in my blood. And then a wondrous thing. A dim light began to glow all around me, not cast by any torch. It was as though the very stones acknowledged my presence.
So this is more than likely going to be a fairly large area as well. That's a flesh gorger. Blood golems. So there's a necromancer in the swamp and a bunch of blood golems. I remember my blood golem. Remember him well. I remember him fondly. I also remember him being my only defense against the wretched enemies, the wretched armies of Diablo when all my skeletons died. Which happened frequently if you were a Summonmancer. Oh well. Oh, we found the next level already. Let's take a look. Find the entrance to the Great Hall. Alright, let's just very quickly do another exploration here, because part of this is I want to show off the other trap if one exists in here. I don't think one does. Oh, it's a shame. But it looks like I can gather a bunch of enemies and kill them, right? Ah, well, I found a new event. I found the lost treasure of the Nephalem. I have to search for a way to open the warded door. So apparently there's a button here that I just hit. And there's 2 Nephalem switches to activate. So I can't get in normally. So I gotta do some scouring. And listen to Rakkis a bit.
The Nephalem had such a strong connection to the light that it granted them powers far beyond our own. But I believe that through the light they can be reborn in us. Thus I have consecrated Westmarch, a shining beacon in the west. I have taken from my sigil the Wolf of Corvus, and proclaimed myself king.
Alright, there's another switch. Here we go. Here's one of these blue floors. These things are pretty cool. They're just blue traps that make enemies that stand on them be immobilized. And they're reusable traps too, I believe. Well, that one turned off, but I've seen a couple of them re-trigger. Some of them are a little more active than others, I guess. Could be random. But it's really nice when they're there if you need them. To stop the enemy from attacking. Give you a little reprieve. Oh my.
My strike is true.
One more switch, come on.
Oh, this place is huge.
Your evil undoes you.
Just scores of these little enemies just coming after me, you know? It's no shortage of things to kill. I mean, hell, look, I've almost leveled again. There's one of the traps. You can kind of see it glowing. And then once they walk on it, a few of them get trapped, and then a few more will get trapped. Always a good place to fight if you're kind of squishy. But, I need to find that switch. Oh dear. Instead, I find electrified, plague, mortar, fast minions. Electrified, plague, mortar, fast. Where's the main guy? Ah, that's it. Nothing else. Okay. This is why I like having pets. I can just hang back sometimes. It's quite nice not getting swarmed. I've got 15 of those sycophants out now. And this is what I'm talking about. I mean, I don't even really need the dogs at this point with this many sycophants out. I mean, they're probably stepping on each other's toes now. We're probably getting issues with them just standing around at some points.
I don't want to meet any woman who chooses to live here. Well, I mean, maybe if she was pretty. Never mind.
Seriously, Lyndon. Oh, and there's still plenty more to fight. Alright, I gotta go empty my inventory.
A decade later, the power of the Nephalem still escapes me. Something long ago stole it from them and keeps it hidden, even today. I have found mention of an artifact called the World Stone, hidden in the barbarian land. Now that my son is born, I have rallied my banners to ride to war against him.
Well, not what I wanted to hit. I'm not sure how I did that, actually. Oh, Rakkis. Alright, I'm a little... I wonder if this is bugged, because when I hit that first switch, shouldn't that have been switch 1 of 2? Right? Because I hit the switch, and then the moment I hit the switch, it's like, okay, you need to find switch 2. It said switch 0 of 2. So I'm pretty sure this event is bugged right now. And unless I'm just missing it somehow. And that is truly a shame. I don't think they would have spawned it so far off because it's just a sub-event. Like there is one right there. There's where we need to go. Oh, there it is. Okay. I guess I was wrong. So there's a total of 3 switches, but... Open the resplendent chest. Okay. So let's get in there. Fantastic. A whole bunch of gems. I'm not even done with this place. Look at this. There's more. Oh, that's a dead end over there. Okay.
The spirits aid me.
But yeah, large area. And I've been going for a while, so I'm not exactly sure when I'll be cutting this off. I might split it if it ends up going too long, but I'm going to attempt to go into the next area. Because we're about to go... Well, actually, you know what? Yeah, I think we can go ahead and into here because there's a waypoint right there. So we will have to move on to the next area. And the next one. I think that's the best way because I've gone to over an hour and a half here and I'm pretty sure there's at least a half hour I can shave off, but I'm not sure I can shave off too much more than that. So next time, we shall encroach upon Adria. And we shall have her head, shall we not? Yes, I think we shall. So we're here. There's the Pass of the Drowned. Not too much farther left. We've got one more here, I believe, and then we head up there. Excellent. Back to the Survivors Enclave. So before I move on, I'll make a quick look around, just to make sure there isn't anything else. Oh, it's a slight damage increase and it's got some regeneration. I'll take it. How about the ring? No, not good, and no. Alright, so Lyndon, he has nothing. Oh, but we do have some more from other artisans, so nothing here. Nothing here, just to be safe. But covetous, though. Zay's Joy.
Dirges was possessed by an all-consuming rage. As Zay had stolen what was most valuable to Dirges, he would take from Zay all that he held dear.
Did Dirges kill him?
Dirges took something much more dear than Zay's life. His joy. He killed everyone Zay had loved and held dear. Oh. Then he slew Adria. Her light went out from the heavens. The seas wept, and the waves of their tears crashed upon the shore.
Oh, dear. Doesn't look like that's it, though. We have a few more conversations up here before we move on.
Now that Zayl is dead, I'm going to Bramwell to find
These
him.
lands are still...
I don't care.
Okay, looks like we might have some... Yeah, okay, that's just the soul stone. Okay, maybe I was wrong.
Where are you going? I have some good news.
Good news?
I mentioned what you did to some guards I met. You could get a commendation or something when this is all over.
Oh, that's fantastic.
You can hear the joy in his voice. It's palpable.
I was separated from the other soldiers and surrounded by the dead when I saw him. I gazed into the face of death himself. I couldn't move. I just stared as he passed through me. His touch was like ice, so cold. But something in me changed. Something I cannot understand.
Wait, you survived an encounter with Malthael? What? Interesting.
This disaster will make for great reading someday, provided that anyone survives to chronicle it.
True enough.
How fortunate I am to have met
Anything in your satchel? No.
Rakkis conquered all of Honduras before founding Westmarch. Repelling this invasion would be child's play for him.
Well, I guess that's that. So next we'll move on to the entrance, try to get to the entrance of the Great Hall. So ladies and gentlemen, Witch Doctor, patch 2.2. Good stuff here. Yeah, I've got, let me actually go back into the main screen so you can kind of see how the cosmetic stuff actually sticks around. And it's pretty nice. I like the fact that they finally have a menu for it. So there you go, you can see my little dog, and of course you can see my wings. So yes, I've been quite happy with the patch. I actually did do quite a bit of playing in the current seasons on the ladder, and you can see a little update with my Rakkis. He still has some gear he needs to get, but overall he's looking pretty good. So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks you once again for coming by, for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next time.